Hello dear students, how are you? I am Vivek Sharma, your mathematics teacher. I teach class 10th in your school. In this video lecture, we will study about the quadratic formula for solving the quadratic equations. We studied that what is factorization method and how to apply that method in solving the quadratic equations. In this video lecture, we will apply the quadratic formula for solving the quadratic equations. Before going into deep, please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. As revision is must for everything, in the previous video lectures we have studied about the quadratic equations. So let us again try to recap the concept of quadratic equation again. So here we know that any equation which is written in the form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0 is called as the quadratic equation, and this is the standard form of quadratic equation. How a given equation is quadratic? So we know that if a variable has a highest degree is 2, then such equation is called as a quadratic equation. As we have revised that what is quadratic equations, here we need to again revise the methods of solving the quadratic equations. Here we have three types of methods. First is the factorization method, second is the completing the square method, third is the quadratic formula. We have studied that what is factorization method in the previous video lecture. Completing the square method has been omitted from your syllabus. In this video lecture we will study about the quadratic formula. As we have studied that what is a factorization method in the last video lecture, here we will study the quadratic formula for solving quadratic equations. First of all, here we consider the quadratic equation which is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, which can be solved by the following formula, which is x equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, which is called as a quadratic formula or Shri Dharacharya's formula, who was the Indian mathematician in the old times. Now here that formula is called the quadratic formula, which can be used for solving the quadratic equations. Here we can separate that formula in two forms, as a plus minus sign is given, which is called the roots of the quadratic equation, which is given by the x equals to minus b plus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and x equals to minus b minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Here b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant and it is denoted by d. Here d is equal to b square minus 4ac. Here on the basis of discriminant we can find the nature of roots, and here by the discriminant we can find that in which condition we can apply the quadratic formula. So here three condition is here. When the discriminant is positive or greater than 0, so we say that roots are real and exist. When discriminant is greater than equal to 0, so we say that roots are real and equal and roots exist. But when discriminant is negative or lesser than 0, so in that case roots are not real, and here we cannot use quadratic formula. So here we need to understand that what is the need of quadratic formula. Sometimes when factorization method is not applicable to solve the quadratic equations, so in a mathematics we have another formula which is called as quadratic formula for solving such quadratic equations. That formula is also known as Sri Dharacharya's formula, which is invented by an old mathematician. Here an example is given for the clarification. This is the equation x square plus 4x plus 2. Here we have to split that middle term 4 in two integers such that sum will be 4 and product will be 2. Clearly this is not possible. So in that case we cannot solve this equation by factorization method. So here we have to apply a method which we can use such equations, which is called as a quadratic formula. So here this clarifies that what is the need of quadratic formula. Let us come on question number first. Find the roots of quadratic equation 2x square minus 5x plus 3 equals to 0 if they exist using the quadratic formula. Here in this type of question, in first step we have to find the discriminant. So let us come to find the discriminant. So in the solution, we can see that our given quadratic equation is 2x square minus 5x plus 3 equals to 0. We compare this equation with the standard form of quadratic equation, and by this here we get the value of a, which is the coefficient of x square, b, which is the coefficient of x, and c, which is the constant term. We know that we can find the discriminant by the formula d equals to b square minus 4ac. On putting all the values in that formula, here we can see that our discriminant is equal to 1. So 1 is greater than 0, it means our discriminant is greater than 0. When such condition exists, it means roots are real and exist. So after existing of the roots, here we can apply the quadratic formula. Our quadratic formula is given by the x equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Here b square minus 4ac is the discriminant. So its real roots is given by the following equations. Here x equal to minus b plus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and x equals to minus b minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now on putting all the values here in the given equations, on solving, here we get x equals to 3 by 2 and x equals to 1, which are the required roots. So let us come on question number 2. Find the roots of the quadratic equations 5x square minus 2 root 15x plus 3 by quadratic formula. For this we have to find the discriminant and check that roots will exist or not. So here we compare our given quadratic equation with the standard form of quadratic equation. Here we get the value of a, b, c. Now on putting the value of a, b, c in the equation d equal to b square minus 4ac, which is the discriminant, on putting all the values, here we can see on solving, we can see that discriminant is coming equal to 0, which shows that roots are real and equal. Hence when the roots are real and equal, so it will exist. So when the roots will exist, so we will find the roots by the quadratic formula. Our quadratic formula is given by the equation x equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So as real roots is given by the following equations, which is we have studied in the previous slide. Now on putting all the values of a, b, c in these two equations, here on solving we get x equals to root 3 upon root 5 and x equals to root 3 upon root 5. It means that here the roots are coming equal, which shows that when the discriminant is equal to 0, so in that case the roots are real and equal. So here our roots are real and equal, so we have found that given quadratic equations have equal roots. So let us come on question number 3. Find the roots of the equation x minus 1 upon x equals to 3 if they exist using the quadratic formula. In that case, given equation is linear, we have to convert into the quadratic form. So first of all we convert in the standard form of quadratic equation, which is equal to ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So on solving and taking LCM, here we get a quadratic equation which is equal to x square minus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. Now as we have to apply the quadratic formula for getting its roots, so here we find its discriminant and check that roots will exist or not. So here on finding the values of a, b, c, and we put all the values of in the formula of discriminant, which is equal to d equals to b square minus 4ac. Here we can see that the discriminant is coming greater than 0. Means when the discriminant is greater than 0, it means roots are real and exist. So when the roots are real and exist, so we can apply our quadratic formula. Please try yourself for finding its roots by quadratic formula. Now let us come on question number 4. Find the value of k for which the following quadratic equations has equal roots. Our given quadratic equation is 2x square plus kx plus 3 equals to 0. Now in the question it is given that the given quadratic equation has equal roots. It means our discriminant is should be equal to 0, because it is given that the given quadratic equation has equal roots. It means discriminant is equal to 0. Remember it, as we have found in the previous slides also. Now let us try to find the value of d. So Here we compare our standard equation of quadratic equation with given quadratic equation. Here we get the value of a, b, c. As we know that our discriminant is given by d equals to b square minus 4ac. We put all the values of a, b, c in that equation, b square minus 4ac. Here we get the value of d equals to k square minus 24. Now here in the above it is given that d is equal to 0. So on taking k square minus 24 equals to 0, on solving, here we take k square equals to 24, and finally we get the value of k equals to plus minus 2 root under root 6, which are the required values of k. Let us come on question number 5. Find the nature of the roots of the following quadratic equations if the real roots exist. Find them. Our equation is 2x square minus 3x plus 5 equals to 0. For this we have to find the discriminant. We know that how to find the discriminant. Now on putting all the values, here we can see that our d is coming negative, which is equal to minus 31. It means our discriminant is less than 0. It means roots are not real and doesn't exist. Hence we cannot find the roots of the given quadratic equation. Some practice question is given in this slide. As we have studied that what is quadratic formula, how to apply that quadratic formula in finding the roots of a quadratic equations. Please do exercise 4.3 question number 1, which is based on completing the square method. That method has been omitted from your syllabus, so please do question number first by quadratic formula. Please do question number 2, question number 3 of exercise 4.3, and question number 1 and question number 2 of exercise 4.4 at your home. Please take care of yourself and of your family.